So let's say you've been trading for some time and your results are good with your strategy, but then you want to go to the next level. You want to be able to manage your money the right way. You want to be able to risk the proper amount per trade. And that's also a question I get a lot on how much should you risk per trade and what kind of risk measures should you have per trade. And that's what we'll cover in this video. So it's been a really long time that I didn't sit in front of a camera to record videos. I was on a trip to Cuba last week, which was really cool. Although the Wi-Fi there doesn't really work that well, so not much to do there. And I was able to get just the bare minimum stuff done for the holidays, which is fun. But then I'm coming back here to record some videos in Canada. I'm going to be leaving to Bangkok tomorrow, which is pretty crazy schedule, but it's nice. And that's going to be better, so it's going to be more hot, of course. Today I want to talk about basically like what kind of risk measures should you have per trade. So people talk about how I have a fixed dollar risk per trade, have a fixed lot risk per trade. So like I would take your trade with like 0.5 lot or 1 lot or 2 lots or whatever. Or maybe go with percentages per trade. And I think there's a problem with like people don't understand which one works best for them. And it's not about like one best measure for everyone. I think it will vary. But the math and the things behind the risk per trade help us understand which one you should use. And I think for most people, they should use one of them. But I'll share with you my thought process about this and how I go about choosing what I risk per trade in terms of method. So fixed percentage, fixed dollar, fixed percent per trade. There's a bunch of different ways. So let's cover this. And I must point out that one book that really kind of taught me a lot on that topic is this book over here, Universal Principle of Successful Trading by Brent Penfold. I had Brent on the podcast a while back. But Brent is a really good guy to learn about money management, trading, methodology, systems. Really, really awesome. And so in this book, there's a few things that are discussed that I think we should have a look at. And I took some notes. Basically what Brent is doing is he's taking like 3 different methods of risk per trade and looking at the result of each of them with a proper system. Because we understand that systems are not the key. You can have like a really good system, but if you have the wrong risk management method, you're not going to get good results. And that's just basic fact in normal life. And so one thing I want to point out that I find really interesting, this is something I highlighted a while back when I first read the book a long time ago, but here's what it says. Proper money management has 2 objectives: survival, avoiding the risk of ruin, and the second one is big profit, so geometric profit, which means that yeah, we want to think about like protecting your money, that's all fine, but the other aspect is you want to make sure that your risk, what you risk per trade, helps you kind of move forward and grow faster than most people. And that's the main thing with if you're gonna risk a fixed lot per trade, it's gonna maybe protect you at first, but eventually then you're gonna be stuck with no profit or lower profit, and then you have to readjust your risk, and that makes a mess. So I want to show you quickly what that looks like. And by the way, if you really want to get deeper on that topic, I highly suggest you read the book from Brent. Highly recommended, of course. I'll just read like some graphs quickly so you can see a little bit. And so here's what it would look like if you were to trade something with a fixed dollar risk management. Okay, so you see a graph over here, and basically the graph is like fine, trending upward. And as you see, you go from $0 to 140,000. Okay, that's around the thing that you would be aiming for. Now that's always a fixed dollar, so you never like change the risk. It's always like fixed dollar amount, and you never really increase that. And here's one where it's risking pretty much always the same lot size per trade. So you'll see over here, it's not a dollar amount, but it's a lot size. So the graph is pretty similar. And the profit here overall, so you go from 0 to 250,000, a little bit better. Okay, but that's with like no risk management. So you could have like a big trade with a big stop loss, and you will still use the same lot size, which is I think stupid. But that could be a way to do it if you really want to kind of like risk your money and lose your money. So more drawdown, I believe, in that case, but the reward is bigger. Now, one thing these 2 methods don't have in common, and don't consider at all, is that you will make a lot of money in trading through compounding. And that means that if you always have the same risk per trade, always like 0.1 lot or 1 lot, or maybe like $200 per trade, maybe if that's always your risk, then you're always stuck there and you will never really grow fast. You get from 0 to 160,000 and from 0 to 250,000, which is not, it's a lot. I think that's like over several years. And all the figures are there. So the drawdown is there, maximum drawdowns all there, so that's quite cool. But so you might want to read this yourself, but you never really get to a big amount because you never really compound your money, and a lot of your money in trading, as I said, is going to be made through compounding. So here's what that looks like if you were to do what I do and what I think makes sense for most people, is to risk a percent per trade. So that could be a like varying dollar amount or a varying percent based on how much money you have. You are going to risk more. So let's say 1%. So you start at $1,000, you risk $10. But if you go to like $10,000, then you risk $100 per trade. And then if you go to 20,000, then you risk $200 per trade. So that's gonna increase over time, and that's, I think, the best way to do it. So I'll show you the graph. Like the graphs all look fairly the same. I didn't spend time to look at them clearly, but here's the graph. You go from basically 0 to roughly like 18 or 20 million, which is pretty big. And that shows that like you can risk a fixed pip per trade, then a fixed lot per trade. You can risk a fixed dollar per trade, but these won't get you very far. The things will get you really far and more like get you to advance, and also meet the objective of risk management, like protecting your risk from the 0%, and generating profit that are going to help build your account over time. And that's really, I think, the only method that allows you to do both, to be able to manage your risk and grow your money over time. And so, unlike what people say is like, oh, protect your risk, and people talk about this all the time. You gotta protect your risk, a risk low per trade, risk only like smallest lot size per trade. That's all fine, but you won't really grow your money fast. And so you won't grow your money at all. Okay, over like 10 years, if you go from 0 to 250,000 with some deficits, that's not much. And so you might want to be able to kind of find a way to make more money and protect your risk at the same time. So the other thing about the percent risk per trade, so let's say you risk 1 or 2% per trade, is that if you were to go to a drawdown, then automatically your risk per trade would lower. And a big mistake people can make is like if they keep the same risk per trade, even in a drawdown, when things don't work, then they end up with a bigger loss. Or instead of kind of reducing your risk and getting back up in your risk when you have a good series of trade. That's really important. So someone that's like risking $200 per trade, he's gonna risk that and go lower in his account if he has a drawdown. Someone that's risking 1%, which might be $200 at top, and then going down to like maybe 180, maybe like 150 if he loses a lot of money, then that's going to be smaller, of course. And of course you can have some more rules of like adapting to drawdowns. Like if you have a drawdown, you reduce more your size, that's fine, but that's really where it is. So I hope this answered the question of what method should you use of risk per trade. It's quite simple in my opinion, but I would highly recommend that you read this book if you want to learn more. It's called The Universal Principle of Successful Trading by Brent Pinfold. I'll link that below in the description of the video if you want to check it out. Good book, big book of course, but good book to read and go through, especially before you get too far in the year. So comment below what you thought. As always, I want to hear your comments in the comment section. Here are a few comments in the past video. I appreciate you guys for leaving comments as always in the comment section. Subscribe if it's not done yet. And we have a lot of things coming up in 2020 this year. Happy for this, of course. And I look forward to catch you guys here in the next video. Ciao.